I'm Brian Painter of the Oklahoman, and today I'm joined by Rick Smith. He's a warning coordination meteorologist with the National Weather Service Norman Forecast Office. And Rick, thanks for coming in today.
Glad to be here.
We're just going to kind of visit about the National Weather Service put together an assessment team to look at the May 22nd Joplin tornado. And as you know, we sadly remember it was an EF5 that struck Joplin and many deaths, many injuries. But they kind of looked back, took a survey of some of the things that happened that day. And you've studied that, and appreciate you taking some time to visit with us about that.
Sure.
You know, Rick, one of the things that it recommended in there was a non-routine warning mechanism. What do they mean by that, and what are some of the things that you guys have done in the past that would be non-routine?
Well, people get used to tornado warnings, severe thunderstorm warnings. Those are issued quite frequently around here and in the, all around the southern part of the United States here during the springtime. So we look for ways to highlight those situations that are different. So in the Joplin assessment, for example, people noted that the sirens usually go off once, but in this case they went off twice, which got their attention. We've done some things here actually on May 3rd, 1999, looking at the gravity of the situation and looking at what was about to happen to the Oklahoma City metro area. One of our meteorologists on the fly used the words tornado emergency in a statement that we put out. That wasn't in an official Weather Service rule book or anything. It's just something we kind of made up on the spot there in an effort to kind of shake people a little bit and say, hey, this is different, and it got attention.
I was standing behind you the night of the Lone Grove tornado a couple of years ago. When you did something you said that you've only done a few times, and you broke in on NOAA Weather Radio.
Right.
Why did you do that night?
Well, our NOAA Weather Radio broadcasts are automated. It's a computerized voice that reads the messages. And only a couple of times since I've been here have we done a live broadcast. The live broadcast is done to get attention. It's not something that people are used to hearing. If you listen to the weather radio, you're used to hearing that computerized voice. Hearing a human voice and giving very specific details is important. And we chose to do it on that evening because this was a large tornado that was moving through populated areas, crossing Interstate 35. And it was just another way to get attention and to get people to realize this was different. This was a potentially deadly situation, serious, and we're looking for any tool we can to be able to, tap people on the shoulder and say, hey, pay attention to this.
Do you think, in looking specifically at central Oklahoma, we're seeing more cases where businesses, churches, schools are taking precautionary steps if they see, a particularly bad situation coming up?
We have seen that more recently, more proactive measures being taken. A few days after the May 10th tornado outbreak last year, we saw some things where churches canceled services. We saw that a lot more on May 24th of this year, where we had a big tornado outbreak. Probably had something to do with being 2 days after the Joplin tornado, but there was a lot of attention. The confidence we were conveying and the certainty and the detail combined with other things prompted people to close businesses early, cancel school activities, graduation ceremonies were canceled.
You had mentioned to me that you really didn't see many surprises in this report, but it did reinforce some things. What are some of those?
Yeah, the report did a pretty good job of looking at some of the social science aspects, and the death toll was certainly surprising and shocking. It's been decades since we saw anything approaching that. But what it reinforced was the fact that human beings, people, wherever you are, we don't really respond automatically to a warning. A siren going off or a tornado warning on your weather radio or television doesn't automatically trigger a response. It usually triggers actions that go on to try to verify the threat. So your weather radio goes off for a tornado warning, you're probably going to go look out the window. You're probably going to flip through the TV stations to see what people are saying. It's going to take some number of confirming messages from different sources to get you to act. The service assessment pointed that out and indicated that people did do that. And sometimes it wasn't until they got a personalized warning. Maybe they heard the weather radio, the siren, the TV, but it wasn't until their aunt or mom called them and said, hey, this is serious.
Thanks very much for coming in.
Glad to be here. Thanks.